Well, Jay, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to interview you. I am Dee Collins, and I'm the author of Great Man, Where Art Thou? It's the silent cry of a woman's heart. And I really, really wrote this book because our hearts are bleeding. Not because we just need a man and we want a man. I don't even think we already know what to do with you when we get you. You know what I'm saying? But to really understand the heart of who you have been created to be as a great man, as a king, as a priest. And I'm honored to be able to hear your heart and connect with you and allow other women to hear your heart. So my first question would be to you is that describe the heart of a great man or a king, one and the same. Describe that heart.
I would say the heart of a great man or the heart of a king is really after the will of God, and really he's chasing the vision that God has given him, because any great man has a vision that God has given him, and God gives vision for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Vision is never for one person or for myself or for one man in particular. The vision is always for the people, just like the scripture says, without the vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm.
And when there is no vision, people are constrained, or sort of they're confused, and there's no order. But I think that the heart of a king is always the legacy. What is he leaving behind, and what is he creating that will outlive him? And I think the heart of a king is really a place where a lot of people don't get a chance to really hear. They don't, especially a lot of women, preferably, don't really get a chance to really hear the heart of a king, because to really hear his heart, he has to allow himself to be vulnerable.
Wow.
But he also has to be able to trust the individual or that woman that he's going to be vulnerable with.
Okay, and let's take a pause right there, because you said something. You said a whole lot. To be perfectly honest with you, I could go like man so many different ways, but I want to talk about that vulnerability, because men are. My experiences, men have been through a lot. Their heart has been bruised. Their heart has been betrayed. When a man gives his heart, he gives his heart. So now when that, I don't even call her a woman. I still think that she's in the stage of a female, not really understanding who she is as that woman, because a woman is developed internally. It's not by the physique. It's not by how she's shaped. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, do you agree with me? You agree with me, Jay?
Yes.
You know, so we looking for you all to be vulnerable, and your heart has been closed off because of past issues. Speak to that. What can we do as women to be patient, or what can we do to position ourselves, to posture ourselves? Because something trying to get to your heart and the heart just closed off. When a man's heart is closed, how do you all be vulnerable?
Well, I think for one is you have to provide an environment and a place of safety for him, and that place of safety is non-judgmental, non-biased. That place is also a place of comfort, a place of peace. It's enough for men to go out, and especially in this day and age, for Black men to go out into society and into the world, and to try and conquer the world, and to try to overcome the hurdles that we have to try to get over. Then come home, and there's no place of refuge, and there's no place to actually be ourselves. And women just have to really present themselves in a way that they can really handle the heart of a man and really handle his vulnerability. Because when he's vulnerable, he drops his persona of this strong, masculine, as I call it, the Incredible Hulk, and he has to become Bruce Banner. And so Bruce Banner, on the other end, he's a normal guy, and so he has to be able to allow his normalcy in which he have chosen to live in. And he has to know that it's going to be protected. And a lot of men are afraid to be vulnerable because they're afraid that it's going to be used against them in a weapon. Because if I really told you how I felt, and if I really became open about my fears and about the things that I've had to overcome, or the things that I'm still dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
I trust you with that, and you not see that, see me as that, but see through me
Mm-hmm.
that I am bigger than that. So it really, women really have to position themselves as if they can handle it, and not just in what I can do for you from a financial or from a physical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
What 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 can you do for my feelings and for my emotions and for my vulnerabilities?
And man, Jay, you all in my book. You all in the book. You in
Oh, sorry.
the book. You're in the book, man. You're in the book. And and this is my plea as an author, because I have been in relations with men whose heart's been bruised. And I've gotten the brunt of that woman who bruised his heart. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I still had to stand in my queendom.
Oh,
I still had to stand as a queen. It wasn't about what I was getting. It was, if anything, God was saying, what are you still going to give?
right.
What are you
Exactly.
still going to give? And that's that agape. Now, I know you're saying, yeah, and you're agreeing with me, but I want you to speak to that from a man's perspective, because what you're saying sounds easy, but we got to be vulnerable too, and we got to be obedient.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I truly believe, and I've had to learn this as a man has gone through a broken engagement about a year and a half ago, and I went through just a very silent time of depression and feeling like a failure because the relationship failed, and because here I am doing great things, but this woman did not want to support me in the great things that I was doing. And so it's very challenging because for men, we don't recover like women.
Yes.
And as you said earlier, and as you stated, that when we give our heart and when we love, we go all in, and that's just something that is innate, and God has allowed us to become to have tunnel vision on certain things. But for both the male and the man and the woman to experience not only just so much true love, but a true connection, that both has to become vulnerable. And I think that a lot of men are very apprehensive because women sometimes can they can allow their emotions to sort of engage, but they still have that wall up. And I think that a lot of times men are just as intuitive as most women are, and we can see that. And when a man kind of sees that a woman is kind of holding back, he's going to hold back. And I think both has to come to the table and sit down and have that conversation. You talk about the hurts, you talk about the brokenness, but how do we get to a place of wholeness?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that place of wholeness may not be with that individual that you would connect with in a relationship, and maybe he or she is just an assignment that God has you on to help bring them back to that place. But everyone has to be vulnerable in a certain way.
I love what you just stated, man. Jay, every time you talk, I think I'm more in love with you, in a wholesome way. No, I'm serious, in a wholesome way. And this is my point, because I believe that we as women can be assigned to a man's life to bring healing, restoration, and particularly to lift him up in prayer. But we tip over into that sexual stuff. We tipped over into trying to get our own needs met, when God is saying, I put you here just to be what I need you to be for Jay.
Oh yeah.
For Jay. I'm one of those. I take now that I'm talking to you and interviewing you, I map my position. Okay? Can I map my position, Jay? Now, I'm a great woman, and I know how to keep my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Right. But realistically, many women don't, particularly your peers. And I may be just a tad bit older than you. I don't want to say I'm too much. You know what I'm saying? But from a peer standpoint, you're a fine Black man, I must say. You have a vision, and I want to get back to the vision part. But what will be the first strategy that you will give a woman when she meet a man of your caliber, and it is not about you all coming together, flesh to flesh, in any type of sexual way? How does she map her position in order to keep her boundaries with a man of your caliber?
It's funny you say that. I just had this conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking, and she said, Jay, it must be a difficult time for you dating, because a lot of women present to you kind of like what they my strategy to her is get to know the man behind the man.
Mm.
And she's like, what do you mean by that? I said, just think, it's, as you stated, being a black man that has a vision that is very progressive and thought-provoking. And sometimes women can see the image of what you represent and the idea of you, but to really grab that man, you want to make sure that you get to know the reality of this man. What is his struggles, and what are some of the things that he's still battling from? Because you have to, and a man, and we were talking about that. I said, because a man of purpose is a totally different man, and a man of vision is totally different. For one, sex is a necessity, but they don't value sex on a level as a man who's driven by his sexual desire. But he understands that he needs to be not only emotionally lifted, but he needs to be spiritually led, and he also needs to be mentally stimulated. So you really got to deal with the psyche of a man of vision, because if all that you're presenting is the physical part, you're going to lose him, because that's easily that could be easily obtained, for him. But what is going to sustain the relationship, the interest, and the connection outside of the physical realm? So I would encourage a woman to listen to what he's not saying. That's how you grab men attention. And when I talk to some of the guys that I know are good friends of mine, former athletes, and when I ask them why did they marry the women that they married, the first thing they said, man, she did something that nobody else was doing. Or she said something to me that no other woman has said. She presented something that no one else had presented. And I think, and that's how you grab our attention.
Yes.
To not only make us think, but to make us feel. That's important.
But would you say that we first have to make you think before you feel, as opposed to feel before you think?
Right. And what I mean about making us feel is not in the physical realm. How does he feel the words that you are presenting to him to think? Does he connect with what you're saying? Does your words fall on deaf ears? Or is he receiving it in his spirit? And or does he feel like you're manipulating the situation, as you said, to have your needs met? And so once again, he becomes this guy who's just giving. But what is he, receiving? Like what are you going to give to him besides the physical?
Right. And thank you, Jay. And God knows, when he gave me this book, I had to literally birth this and bring out it very skillfully. How was I going to utilize my words? How was I going to say with the revelation of what God was giving me? But the audience primarily is for women, so we can know how to do what you're talking about. See, you're talking it, but realistically, we got to know how to. I got to know how. I even talk about some things is not worth being said.
Absolutely.
And when you say it, I put it in the book. You got to know the timing. You got to be able to know your when you can, and skillfully use proper words.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why it's so important that we are in the presence of God, because when we are in the presence of God, he gives us revelation of how to be in your presence.
Exactly. That's it. You hit it on the nail.
Now, talk about that from a man with a vision. See, because you're not just any man, you got a vision. And I always tell women, ask the man what's his vision, and you'll know if you're the woman for that job.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, you need to put that on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Insta story. You need to put that. That needs to be a meme. And you're so right when you say that, is because for me, I want to know, how do you align not only with this vision, but the purpose that God has called me to? But how do you complement the journey? Because it's not a destination. It's going to be a journey. And the man with the vision understands that having vision is, for one, it's not an easy task.
Right. Trust me on that one.
It is not for the faint of heart. It is for the woman, as you said, and as you spoke of, it is a woman that not only understands this man's heart, but she understands the vision.
Yeah.
Where he's going. But she understands that the vision is not for him. It is for the people of God. But when she look at it from a broader perspective, you benefit from him being obedient and follow the vision. Because as he's following his vision and as you are assessing or helping in any way that you can, you benefit from that because your needs will be met. Because I can assure you this, that you can ask Michelle Obama today that she's able to do a lot of things that she is able to do today because of President Obama's vision. And it wasn't that, well, his vision was bigger than mine. It's like, no, I come in understanding that I am a helpmate, understanding that I am here to help him in whatever capacity that I can. And as I'm helping him, he's pouring back into me because what he gives out to the people, I refuel and pour back into him. So I'm able, so the situation or the relationship is reciprocated to where no one goes empty.
And I want to just use those two, the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, as an example, because I believe, naturally they're the first Black couple in the White House, and they do a great job of representing, I believe, a king and a queen. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. But we have to look at this, very closely. Michelle Obama just didn't get there.
No.
Just to get there. First of all, she was working on a vision too.
Exactly.
She was working on a vision too. And regardless of him being the president, he's still a Black man.
Right.
And he a Black man, and he ain't hiding his issues. You might not see it all, but you could tell he's still a man that want to be transparent and say, hey, we're fighting because we all got some things that we got to deal with. So as a great woman, my question is, every great woman, and answer if I'm wrong, have to endure.
Yes, ma'am.
Have to endure. I believe you all choose the great woman as she has not only worked on her vision, but she have went through a level of endurance of dealing with your issues with grace, maintaining her posture, and knowing who she is. Not saying that she might not have got upset all the time, but she did not nag, harass, slash your tires.
And that's so important what you just said, maintaining a posture, because we got to keep our composure. I mean, it's a team thing, and it's and as you said, choosing, because I cannot attach myself or I cannot connect with someone that don't understand that fighting is part of this vision. That we're gonna have to endure some hardship. We're going to have to endure some days that we don't really understand what's going on. But it's remaining focused on the vision and remaining focused on the goal at hand, the task at hand. And that's so important for every man. It's like when I speak to young men and I tell them, I say, yo, man, before you get a wife, man, make sure you're clear on your vision.
Yes.
That way you can convey that to her, and you're going to be able to tell by her response, as I did in my relationship. I was able to tell by her response when she asked me, she said, Jay, what do you want to do? I said, I want to change the world. And I said, I want to continue to impact the lives of our young people and eventually impact the lives of adults. And clearly she stated, she says, that's not something that I want to do.
But you presented the vision.
Exactly. And I respect that. Because you don't want someone who's in for what they can get from you, but they're out from what you need from them. So it's important that the vision is clear, the vision is conveyed, and that way when you articulate this to that woman, she can receive it and she can decode it, and she can see how she fits into that vision and how she fits into your journey, because you're looking for a partner to go on the journey.
And not only that, not how she can fit in, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when God put you together, her vision that she's working on should be complementary to your vision.
Right. Yeah,
so it's not about how she fit, but how can that be the icing on some of this cake? You see what I'm saying? Am I bringing the strawberries? Am I bringing the bananas? You know, when I'm bringing something extra for my great man, I'm bringing something extra because I've been already birthed in what you already have.
Exactly. Because what it does is it comes in, as you said, it comes in and it complements it, and now she becomes an asset instead of a liability. And so that's so important that woman, that man chooses, that has a vision, that she is an asset, that she is adding to what you have. You add to what she has, and together you multiply and you accomplish that vision together. And that's what you're seeing with President Obama and with Michelle.
Yes.
They both had their life visions as individuals, but then they had a vision together as a couple and as a unit. And so it's important that that woman is able to look within herself and really ask herself, how do I compliment him? What am I bringing to his table?
Yes.
Because so many times, it's like, we talk about a lot of times, so many times women go into relationship based off of what's in it for them.
Yes.
What does the relationship gives to me? Instead of asking themselves, what do I bring to this? Mm-hmm. How do I add to what he's doing? And I ask women that, how can you make me a better man? Because it's important. What can you do to take me from where I am now, and not so much in what you have financially or your job, career? How are you going to inspire me on the days that I'm depleted from inspiring other people?
Now, do you get the response that you require?
It's sometimes I have to step out of myself, and I really have to use the spirit of discernment, because people, and this is why I'm careful to never say what I'm looking for, because people can conform and they can shape a response to fit what they think you want to hear. But true vision always connects from the heart. Always.
But aren't you looking at their fruit? Because this is just my take, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't believe I am. You're a man, you're a king with a vision. Am I right?
Right.
You don't need a woman that come and say, I got a job.
No, we don't need that.
You understand what I'm saying? I got a job. Now I could put that eloquently. Well, I'm a lawyer and I am of the top notch of the Black Lawyers Association. And I'm just saying that's not what you're speaking of. Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. That's not right.
Okay. Because I know on my end, and I want you to address this as you're answering the question, but on my end, it's a lack of Black men with vision.
Yeah. It is. It's a very it is a not only a lack, but it is a lot of Black men that have become socially absent. They have they become disengaged, and a lot of it has to do from what they've seen and from their environment. A lot of it is systematic, and some of the issues that are not only plague our communities and our society is problematic as well. And so it's hard for a man to draw from a well that is dry. And now, you take that guy and you put him in a relationship, and now she's trying to follow someone who really don't know where he's going. And a lot of it has to do that you can't do what you've never seen.
Yeah.
So a lot of men don't know what a vision looks like. They haven't seen a man with vision, and let alone seen anyone execute it. So it's one of those things, and that's why I take what I do very seriously, and especially with my new book coming out next month, Hello King, Claim Your Throne, which also the foreword is written by my mentor, Alfred Edmond Jr., VP of Black Enterprise. And I think it's so important for young men and boys to get this piece, because it helps you to understand how valuable you are as a man, but how important it is for you to have your own GPS to your life.
Yes.
Have some direction. And so I was just reading a post someone that said, let God make a man out of him before you try to make a husband out of him.
There you go.
And I think that statement alone says a lot, because it's very challenging when you a woman like yourself who's not only purposely driven, but you're also in tune with God to
Yes.
the man who don't know where he's going. Misery, frustration, so all of these, and multiple things that are added on by that. And I think for this book that you have coming out, it's needed, it's timely. Not only will this going to educate these women, but also I believe it's going to give them the right content on how to speak with that man that has not located or discovered it as well.
I have to, Jay, you speak so much truth from a mind of a king. I commend you. I honor you. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I also talked about in the book, you were birthed from the womb of a queen, your mother. Agreed or disagree?
Agreed.
And I also talk in the book about how daughters attract their fathers, but also sons attract their mothers.
Absolutely.
It is imperative that the woman in your life knows her queendom.
Yes,
and the enemy, I believe, loves to keep dissension amongst women anyway. We got all this dissension and stuff, but it's really where it's a lot of dissension between mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and all that. I pray that when God brings that woman, that she's able to stand as a midwife and understand her place to continue to birth what your mother see in you as a son. And she can take that and now take that mantle and continue to pray for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that, are you with me?
I'm with you. My mother tells me all the time, she was like, until your wife can come and take the place of covering you and praying for you, I'm going to continue to do it. So, I mean, you're absolutely right.
And that's the way that it is in the queendom for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I know, even for what God has given me in this book, Great Man Where Art Thou, and your book coming out, Hello King, that I'm going to stand in proxy as a midwife to your mother. You see what I'm saying? That God will bring you the queen that you require, not deserve, but require.
Yeah, I like how you put that.
That you require. Now, I do have a question for the audience that's listening. With a man of your mind and of your caliber, what is the biggest barrier and obstacle that you face? Because the Bible said, he that seeketh a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. If the women, we got to stop pursuing you all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And got to let you all do the seeking.
Right, exactly.
What is the biggest barrier? Because, I mean, I know you're looking somewhere because you're a man.
Right.
But you ain't always got to let us know you're looking. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think the biggest barrier is, a lot of women, see, Walter Payton said something that's always stuck with me. He says, when you're good, you'll tell yourself. But when you're great, they will tell you. Mm-hmm. A lot of women don't realize that when you're great and you are that queen and you are really walking in your queendom and you are doing your thing, we see that. Of course, I can reference it back to Ruth and Boaz, and how there were other women that were in the working in the fields. But it was something about her work ethic that mm-hmm. caught his attention. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That allowed him to see something in her that she didn't even see in herself.
Correct.
Because what you see in a great woman is you see greater in her. And you have so many women that wants to present their greatness like, hey, look at me, and I'm a great woman and you should choose me. And instead of allowing that man to see the greatness and allow him to discover how great you really are. because you don't have to present yourself. He will find you. But keep yourself presentable.
Yeah, yes.
And so, and I think that's the biggest hurdle. I mean, I'm sure, like myself, and I'm sure a lot of other men of vision and men of purpose, especially men who are even in the church arena. Time to time, you get the women that says, "Well, God said that you're my husband, and God said that you're this and you're that." I've had that a few times, and I always say, I said, the one thing about God is He's a God of order.
Mm-hmm.
His word has already been established, and His word we cannot add or we cannot take away. It is already founded, and so I think it's important for us to know the word as men, because the enemy will send an Ishmael, or not an Ishmael, but he will send Delilah, and you would mess around, lay your head in the wrong lap.
Yes.
So it's important that women of purpose just live it. And as I tell my young girls, just live in your purpose. Live your life. Travel, achieve your dreams. And when you least expect it, as Ruth did, that man is going to discover and see you working in your purpose, see you working in your career. He's going to see that.
Yes.
Because the queen doesn't have to make a noise. She don't have to put up a sign. She don't have to put up a post.
She don't. All she got to do is just glean.
That's it. That's glean. And because it is her presence.
Yes.
Speaks for her.
Yes.
And when a king comes in not only contact with her, but he is in the presence of a queen, he knows it.
He know, but you all might not say anything because you already know it. And we want to know what y'all thinking all the time, and you all are not going to give your thoughts to anyone. Am I correct?
No, we do not.
And I think that's what frustrates us as women, because we got to be secure in who we are, not what we want, but who we are. And if I'm secure in who I am, even if God revealed to me that X, Y, or Z or Boaz was my husband, that don't mean I got to come and tell you, because that's not my place.
Right.
I just have to do what I do and keep doing it, and don't worry about that.
Right.
Because it's also the timing. You made one mention, and I probably will close. I'm trying to close on this, but I don't know. You may say something to make keep me going, because I could talk to you all day. But I think that this is critical. You mentioned Boaz and Ruth. And one thing that we fail to realize, and I'm going to tie it back into my question as far as standing with your mother, is because Ruth followed instructions from Naomi, who stood as her mother. It wasn't even about, she didn't go off on her own. Let me just glean in the field because Boaz looking. Naomi told her exactly how to posture herself. And I know God has called me to have many spiritual daughters, because they don't know how in this day and hour to posture themselves for a man like you. Right. And if you can't submit to a mother who teaches you, God can't trust them to be submitted to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good. You preaching now. I tell young women that all the time. I've been telling my sisters that, find you a Naomi.
A Naomi, that's right.
Find you a mentor.
That's right.
Find someone who sees beyond you, because a lot of times women can't see outside of their emotions.
Correct.
So they make a lot of decisions from their heart and how they feel. And Naomi wasn't instructing her on a heart decision. She was instructing her on a head decision. Like, listen, you need to go there and work. Just
right.
Work, mind your business.
That's right.
Have some extra work. Take the extra work. Keep it moving. So it wasn't her saying, hey, get as close as you can to Boaz.
Nope.
It wasn't anything, when he walks through the field, kind of tilt your skirt up. Like, it was nothing like that. She said.
And she didn't have on Daisy Dukes. She didn't have her breasts all out for him to entice him, seductiveness.
Exactly.
She was properly adorn not just for him, but for herself as a woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And she modeled what Naomi, because she told Naomi, your God shall be my God.
Mm-hmm.
Your people are my people now.
Yeah.
So she modeled how Naomi postured herself. And I think oftentimes we have to be very cognizant of who we allow to mentor us. You know, if you don't have a vision, you can't mentor me.
Right, exactly.
If you're not working on these things of the kingdom, because that's where a king is. A king is in the kingdom. A king is not in the world.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
A king has dominion over the place that God has given him to have rulership in his occupancy, in his vision. And we have to understand that's their place. But realistically, we can't combine the world and the kingdom and think we're going to get the same results.
No, you cannot. You cannot. They're two different worlds.
And they're truly in opposition of one another.
Right, absolutely.
My heart bleeds. And my whole goal and modus operandi with this book, Great Man, Where Art Thou? Is a tool that not only men read, but women read, but mostly women, that we will learn as we read it how to implement what's in that book, how to posture ourselves like Ruth, but we got to come out of ourselves in order to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And correct me if I'm wrong, until women do that, we will never find a great man like you, because you are not going to receive anything.
No. I agree. I agree 110%. It's, like I said, I know a lot of great men, and a lot of great men who want to be married, they want to be in relationships, but one of the challenges that they have is that they want not only authentic, but they want someone whose heart is not like theirs, but their heart is after their own vision.
Yes.
If you have a heart for your own vision, then I know that you will handle my vision with care.
There you go. And your vision keeps you in restraint. So as long as you got a vision, you ain't looking for Johnny to come in and do something. You ain't looking for Harry to come in, because women could be just more, I believe, more treacherous than men.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's how your heart have gotten broken. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You're on it.
I want you to tell us, when is Hello King going to be released?
Hello King will release October 10th.
That's my birthday.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
it is.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, look. Oh, well then, hey, this is gonna be a blessed a project then.
Oh, you better. I promise you, it's gonna be blessed.
Hey, well, awesome. Yes, it's October 10th, and it will be available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle, iTunes, Nook. So it'll be available for purchase October 10th, and then also we'll have an online course for the book for schools and churches to download. This book is a tool for young men, preferably young boys, to follow through and really journey through understanding who they are as kings. And I was so grateful to God for the vision to be strategic, even in the title, Hello King, because I wanted to come out the gate identifying these young men and addressing them as who they are. And so I'm very excited about this project, and especially it could have come at a better time than where we're at now with the state of our country, and with all of the negative things and the very very disheartening events that are taking place with our Black men. And so I'm very excited about this project.
Well, I'm excited for you. I thank you for your time, your mind, your heart, your wisdom. October 10th is going to be a great birthing day for you. I'm going to be the first one, hopefully, to get my copy, but I'll get it. As I read Hello King, I am going to pray, decree, and declare to the heavenlies that as you desire and aspire for a great woman, that she will come on with that vision and be ready to release Hello Queen.
Yeah, I know that's right.
To go along with Hello King. Oh, come on now. I'm not just speaking it to be speaking it now.
Yeah. And I solicit your prayers and solicit your encouragement words, most definitely needed it. So I was just telling my mother this morning, and I was just thinking, I said, Mama, oh my gosh, there's nothing like a powerful praying woman that know how to seek and lay prostrate before the presence of God, especially in a time like this. I mean,
And that's what God has given me to do, to teach the daughters how to pray for men like you know, that got a vision. You are part of the millennials, you know, and God is doing great things with you all and through you all. I'm just serving as a midwife and a woman that's calling forth the wailing women to teach their daughters how to pray. I am a Naomi in this earth. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of roots that we got to get healed in our souls. Be patient, because don't take anything that's damaged that haven't dealt with certain levels of healing. I admonish you in the name of Christ. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I received that, Queen. I received that the Queen has spoken.
Don't do it. And if you got any questions, call me. Call me. I stand with your mother and check her out.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to adopt you as my new spiritual mother then.
And I shall be, because I'm so tired. I wrote the book because, first of all, Jay, I'm tired of hurting. I'm a woman with a vision. I'm a woman. This is my life. This is not something that I'm doing. This is not a money-making scheme for me. This is my heart. Great man, where art thou? You know what I'm saying? So just as though you have your deficits on your end, I have my deficits on my end. And the only reason why is also, I'm tired of you all's hearts being bruised. I'm tired of Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel, where men are visual and they look for the hips and they look at all this stuff. And then, like you say, you don't know what lap you done laid your head in.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you break free, you got all these damages. And then when a queen does come, you can't even treat the queen like a queen because you're a broken king.
Yeah. Ooh, preach.
Now that's going to be my next book, A Broken King. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Preach. Ooh,
a broken king, you know. So I don't want you to experience that. I don't want you to experience that pain. I don't want you to experience, you got to keep going to another level, You ain't got time for no mess, because God got a vision. And most of all, a woman of that's coming in your life, she got to be on point, because you could bring danger to a woman. You don't mess with a king.
Yeah.
You don't mess with a king. You don't mess with a king.
You own it, Queen.
You don't mess with a king. Give us your website.
Our website for our organization is webuildprojects.org, and you can go in there and read about our programs that we travel around the country. The We Build Kings and We Build Queens Project. And also our social media handles is King J Barnett on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. So all of those social media handles. So we're just blessed to be living this dream and to be living in this purpose that God has given me. And I want to keep growing this platform and pass this thing on to some other young kings and let them keep carrying this torch.
Okay. I appreciate your time, and I thank